Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel, or if it's your first time here, welcome to my channel. My name is Marlene. I talk about eating disorder recovery and everything related to healing the relationship with food, body and movement. And as always, let's dive right into the topic. And today we're going to talk about night eating because I got a couple of comments asking about night eating. So if you are not familiar with night eating, it's basically when people only eat food at night, and it oftentimes occurs in eating disorders because first of all, a lot of people actually want to save up calories and save them up as long as possible so that they end up just eating at night. And I actually did the same thing when I was in the depth of my eating disorder. I would starve myself during the day and then I would eat a small amount at night because I was always afraid that something would come up and then I had used up my calories already. It's also very, very hard to go to sleep with an empty stomach. So for a lot of people, it feels a little bit better to eat a little bit before they go to bed. But of course, the concept of night eating is extremely unhealthy. I would never advise anyone to do this. And it's a very, very disordered behavior, which we see in a lot of eating disorders. For many people, eating is also something that has to be earned. So if you struggle with the urge to move a lot or even with exercise addiction, it can also occur that you feel like you have to work out before you're allowed to eat. So people who eat at night have the whole day to work out and then they feel like they earned their food, which of course should never be the case because you don't have to earn food. Your body needs food every day, regardless of if you move or not, regardless of if you have eaten yesterday or not. Your body needs food throughout the day. And there's a reason why we usually eat breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks in between, and especially in eating disorder recovery, it's of course even more important. But for every single person, it is very important to eat throughout the day. It is super important for your hormones. It is super important for your brain. Your brain thrives on carbs. Your brain needs carbs. Your brain needs energy to work. So I remember when I was in the first eating disorder clinic, my dietitian actually told me it doesn't make any sense because everything you're doing throughout the day. So if you work, if you're going to school, if you whatever it is you're doing, your body needs the energy throughout the day, which doesn't mean that you shouldn't eat at night. Your body also needs the energy for the night, but it just doesn't make sense from a healthy standpoint to not eat during the day. And especially if you're in recovery, it is even more important to eat throughout the day because your hormones can be very messed up through an eating disorder. It doesn't matter if it's what kind of eating disorder it is, because most of the eating disorders have restrictive phases. So it messes up your hormones. It is super important for your hormones and for bodily functions overall to eat on a regular basis. And it is also super important for your body to trust you again. Because as I mentioned in my video about overshoot weight, your body doesn't trust you, or your body doesn't trust that there's food around anymore. Because your body doesn't know if you are the person who's restricting it or if there's a famine going on. So if you go through the day without eating, your body is like, oh, there's a famine again, and we only have so much food that we can eat at night. So it's first of all a scarcity mindset, which can lead to binges, which can lead to obsessive thoughts around food, obsessive thoughts around your body, around movement. And it also makes it way harder for your body to trust you again, which is needed in order to repair your metabolism, which is needed in order to neural rewire, which is needed in order to finally reach a healthy relationship with food, with your body, with movement, with everything that you want to achieve. So it is super important to get to a place where you eat throughout the day. And if you are someone who avoided eating throughout the day and you want to change this, it can be very challenging because oftentimes we just don't feel hungry during the day because our bodies get used to not eating throughout the day. So we don't have an appetite or even hunger cues throughout the day. So it can be very helpful for the beginning to set yourself a reminder to have breakfast before 9 a.m., 10 a.m., whatever works for you. There's no right or wrong, but to have breakfast in the morning and then to have lunch and then to have snacks in between. I'm not the biggest fan of meal plans, but they can be very helpful in the beginning of recovery, especially if you struggle with feeling your hunger cues. So if you want to create a meal plan, please make sure that you eat enough, and please make sure that you always see your meal plan only as a minimum, because oftentimes we see people who are on a meal plan and they see it as the ultimate maximum. A meal plan is always just a minimum. So either So if you want to use a meal plan, or if you want to just like structure your day in a different way, it is super important. To me, it was like very helpful to remind myself that I could only heal my metabolism with eating throughout the day. So I kind of had this picture of a car in my head that runs on fuel. So I can get anywhere within my day if I don't fuel the car, if I don't go to the gas station, right? And having breakfast is kind of the same thing. Having lunch is the same thing. So maybe it helps you to have like a picture in your head like this. Maybe it helps you to be on a meal plan or to have like a simple structure. For some people, it's also very helpful to, you know, talk to someone, to reach out to friends and to be like, hey, can we grab breakfast together? Or if you want to eat at home, like, hey, can we prepare breakfast together? Like, all these things can be super helpful. I just want to remind you that eating only at night is not helpful, it's not healthy, and in many cases it's also not sustainable. So if you really want to change something, I would advise you to start eating throughout the day. And that doesn't mean that you cannot eat at night, because many people get anxious and they're like, well, now I used up all my calories already. There is no thing as using up your calories. If you want to recover from an eating disorder, and I mentioned that before, no matter what kind of eating disorder, if you want to recover from an eating disorder, you have to get rid of this calorie budget mindset, because this is something that we cannot work with. Your body will tell you when it needs to eat, and eventually your body will also tell you when it had enough. Like, I had phases where I went through extreme hunger and where I was super afraid that I would never stop eating. And I would even wake up at night and I was so hungry because my body was basically just screaming for food because I was trying to survive. But now I'm eating throughout the day, and sometimes I have a bigger appetite at night and sometimes I have a smaller appetite at night, but I always make sure to eat. And I don't even think about it anymore. Like, I have dinner and I don't think about it anymore. I don't think about, oh, I could eat more, or, oh, I used up my calories. If I feel like having a snack afterwards, I'm having a snack, and that's it. And I promise you, you can get that too. I struggled with anorexia for 10 years and I never thought it would be possible for me to get to that mindset. But I did it because I did recovery. So I really hope this video was helpful to you guys. As always, leave your comments, leave your experiences, or leave your questions in the comments. You can always ask me. I have a lot of topics that I want to talk about, but if you have a certain question, please let me know. I'm always happy to reply with a video. And yeah, as always, thank you so much for watching, guys. I really appreciate you. I appreciate that we're growing this channel together, and I will see you in the next one.